Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we'll be reviewing the BMW X6 M60i. Before we get in this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the BMW Pleasant Grove for giving me some time with this X6. I'll include a link to their website in the description down below. I'll also include a link to my car buying guide as well. And by the way, if you have any questions or need any help on the BMW side of things, just ask for Brandon. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a twin-turbo 4.4 liter V8 that goes to an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy 17 around town and then 22 on the highway, with power outputs being 523 horsepower and then 553 pound-feet of torque. Now, before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you need some more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting off with the exterior color, really cool with the matte finish, and it's got some kind of like flake in it. So it really does shine. And then you guys can see the headlight design down below. Pretty cool with the daytime running lights. Got the little M logo there on the grille. The grille's all blacked out, same thing with the trim at the bottom. But yeah, overall, pretty striking. Now on the side here, our tire wheel setup is 275 by 35 by 22 in the front, and then 315 by 30 by 22 in the rear. And you guys can see here with the wheels all blacked out, you've got the red brake caliper there as well. And then I love with the fender flare, and you guys can see the little blacked out trim piece there, blacked out mirror cap as well. And then taking a few steps back, here's a side profile. Now taking a look at the key fob here, we've got our remote start function with the lock function. We've got our unlock, the opening for the hatch as well, and we'll pop it open. And then popping into the rear, you guys can see here with the cargo cover built in from the factory, quite a bit of storage space here in the back. Now obviously the vertical space isn't as good. I mean, if I take a few steps back, you can really see just how that slopes down there versus the SUV would keep coming out, if that makes sense. So coupe SUV style, it's one of the downsides. And then look at these taillights, really sharp looking. The overall design, you can see the M60 badge here, pretty aggressive exhaust tip covers. That's the rest of the rear. And this leads us inside. You guys can see we've got a sunshade here in the back, and then I love the stitching, the soft touch trim. You can see a speaker for the sound system, and then this is cool, the trim that goes up, and then we got the carbon fiber there as well. And then here are the seats. And then quickly popping in, that's pretty cool with a little USB port there. Legroom back here is pretty good. That's kind of a little more accurate. Anyways, we've got our own climate zone here in the back. We've got heated seats as well. And then the coupe design does get in the headroom a little bit. It kind of slopes down a bit here. And this leads us up front. So again, you can see with all the stitching and the soft touch trim and down below as well. We've got all of our window controls here with the mirror adjustments. Mirrors do power fold in. Memory seat function. We got the opening for the hatch, massage seat as well. Blind spot running with the mirrors, more ambient lighting with the carbon fiber trim and all of that. And then here's the front seat. Pretty cool looking, if you ask me. All of our adjustments there on the side. And then you can see here with the soft touch trim and the carbon fiber and all of that. And the steering wheel is power adjustable. Now take a look at the steering wheel. You guys can see soft touch all around. Got that cool contrast of stitching in the center, the M logo there, like the stitching on the airbag cover too. Anyways, paddle shifters there in the back. We've got stuff like adaptive cruise control, like your voice command, phone controls, all of that. Traditional stocks here on the back. And then we have this full digital gauge cluster here in the center. And the fun part is with the drive modes, it'll change kind of how it looks. So that's kind of another nice part about the infotainment, or not the infotainment, the gauge cluster. And speaking of infotainment system, first off, we got a 360 camera system with this, really good resolution throughout. And then as for the infotainment system, it's BMW's newest unit, so quick to respond. It's got the tab full of every single application. Oh yeah, overall it's easy to use. The climate controls are accessible there at the bottom, and if I want to, turn on the cooled seat, for example, it's pretty easy to use all the functions. We got a heads-up display there. Again, really nice trim all across the dash. You can see the carbon fiber down below. Little M logo across. Yeah, pretty good size glove box. Some physical buttons, like the volume control and all that. And we will pop that open. Got some cup holders and everything, and I like the carbon fiber trim. And then we have a lot happening in here. So this is the dial to control the infotainment system. You guys can see here for the gear selector, we've got your stability control and then your parking sensors. All of our drive modes set up there. Hill descent control with our auto hold, parking brake as well. And then, yeah, good storage in the center console. Nice trim here on the top. You got some stitching and everything on the side. Rear view mirror, and then we've got a nice premium headliner here, and then a big sunroof. Here's a quick look at the window sticker. You guys can see 2025 X6. We've got all of the optional equipment on this one. $119,635 is the total MSRP. And see how it performs. Let us set off in the X6 M60i. I say this is the BMW sweet spot because it's got lots of power. Come on, BMW touchscreen. It's got lots of power. There we go. Took it long enough. That's what I hate about these modern screens. Oh, it was on all the way. What the heck? Anyways, lots of power, but it's still comfortable. Because M cars, they make things real firm. This, it still has a little bit of suppleness to it. But something that I will say that it's been interesting to see how many manufacturers have adopted this. I'm kind of wondering if it's like one manufacturer that builds out this gauge cluster screen setup, and if every manufacturer, because I mean, manufacturers obviously get their parts from other companies. They don't build everything in-house. And so, yeah, I'm wondering if someone just built this out and everyone's just like, yep, we'll go for that. We'll just do the tablet plop on because, you know, it's futuristic and it, you know, probably lowers costs versus developing their own digital cluster setup. I'm just wondering if this is going to last in the car industry, though. That's my big question is, you know, just a replacement cost part of it. Some people, like I made a comment the other day that most of these are, you know, minimum $10,000 to $20,000 to replace, and a lot of people said they didn't believe me because you can get a big screen television for less, but this is, you know, custom software, and then this is a touchscreen, and so you've got, and it's all one unit, so I don't know, you've got quite a bit happening tech-wise. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see if this is just a fad in the car industry and if it goes away or if it's stays. So time will tell on that one. My personal take is I think it's going to be a fad. I think that what we're going to see is a retreat back to, I think we'll still have digital, but gauge cluster, infotainment system separate. I think that it'll go back to that. But yeah, suspension's pretty darn comfortable. Like it just does it does well. It does a good job driving through and everything, and I don't really think there's anything bad that you can say about how this drives from a daily driver perspective. Let's see a little acceleration here. The 4.4 V8's a really good engine. Tons of torque on the low end, tons of power on the high end, and it sounds pretty darn good too. But it's just it's a very muscular, engine, and it gets pretty good fuel economy for being a twin turbo V8. I mean, being able to get over 20 miles per gallon with a car that has over 500 horsepower, I think that's pretty impressive. And a V8, right? Over 500 horsepower, V8, over 20 miles per gallon. Pretty impressive. Capping things off, I like the style of the X6. Again, I've said this so many times before, I'll just quickly say it again. I like the SUV style more with the X5. That's my preference. But style aside, it drives well, it sounds good, it's comfortable, and again, it's a BMW sweet spot. It's got tons of power, and then it also has comfort. You know, the M car's just a little bit too firm, so this is a great car to daily drive, but you know, you can still have tons of passing power and still have fun with it. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds. Let me know your thoughts.